Welcome, everyone, to the SCP podcast. My name is Ujjayini Brawley, and I'm the 2023 SCP Conference Co-Chair, and I am joined by John O'Brien. Hello, John. How are you?
Good. How are you, Ujjayini?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you. Thank you for joining in on today's podcast episode. Today, we are going to be discussing the SCP conference, and the theme is Conscious Consulting Authentic Connections for Transformational Communities. John, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your connection to the conference?
Yes. So I'm a psychologist in Portland, Maine, who's made the transition to coaching and consulting about 5 or 6 years ago, and have enjoyed using my background in psychotherapy to inform the way I work in businesses. So that's my name of my business is Activate Success. And so that's
Okay.
what I hope really to do is to draw on people's strengths in helping them grow their leadership skills and enhance their self-care. And for SCP, I'm actually co-chair of the Continuing Education Committee. So the committee that some people think of as the evil continuing ed committee, but we try to actually facilitate the process of getting as many sessions within the conference as well as throughout the year approved for CE, because it's nice for those of us who have licenses to be able to get those credits. So we really try to make the process easy. And then the concurrent session that I'm doing with Dr. Gionta is called Beyond Self-Care, Vitality for the Psychologist. And what we hope to do is to create an environment where the wisdom in the room, as well as the whatever wisdom Dr. Gionta and I have, can combine to help people think more carefully about what's their self-care like right now, and how can they enhance it.
Mm. Oh, wow. I love it. Ooh. Now, tell me, what are you looking forward to the most in the conference?
Well, first of all, that it's an in-person conference. Yes, so we can finally be together in person. I mean, it's so nice to connect this way with people,
Mm-hmm.
but I think being able to be together in person is going to be so nice. I think the opportunity to connect with people who are doing similar work is always something that I really appreciate. The chance to see friends that I've met through SCP and maybe make some new ones. And I think also I'm very passionate about the topic of self-care and balance. And so I'm looking forward to presenting with Dana on that.
Lovely. Such an important topic that's often not too much discussed either or brought to light, especially in the psychology field. So I'm so excited for your conference topic. I will be joining that session for sure.
Okay. The pressure's on. The pressure's on. We better show up and have something to say. But we will. We will.
Now, tell me, how do you connect with our conference theme?
Well, I think of kind of conscious, and being present, uh, that I have taught people mindful awareness for many years and really try to practice that myself. So I
Mhm.
think the power of being able to be and making sure we are balanced so that we can be present to be able
Mhm.
to work most effectively with people. I think the other way that I connect to the theme is the power of authenticity
Mhm.
and how important that is to um, show up as yourself, and the power that goes on with if you show up as yourself, what environment that can create for your clients to also feel comfortable doing that. I have a sign that I have in my office that I saw years ago, and I thought I just have to have this. So the sign, the message is, be yourself. Everybody else is already taken.
Yeah.
And it's so important to recognize that whatever that means, that for the many parts of us that we may have, to be able to show up and work at creating an environment where we and our clients and colleagues too can be comfortable.
Mm. Yes, because if we show up ourselves, we can bring our best selves forward and really develop those genuine connections, those authentic connections along the way.
Absolutely. Right. I think it is important to, and certainly at the conference, this is one of the things that I have found is that it's a very welcoming environment and supportive
Mhm.
environment. And I think there are certainly efforts on everybody's part to create that because you have to have, you know, we would call it psychological safety or just a supportive
Mhm.
environment to feel comfortable bringing your true self to a meeting like that. So, that's what I would say is that SCP is the most friendly group of psychologists, and we're not always that friendly, but it's a really friendly group, I think, and supportive group. So that's what I think is nice about our division.
Lovely. I hear that all the time. I'm so glad that you mentioned that too. So that's just a living testimony to the effects that SCP has amongst our members here. So I'm just so glad that you mentioned that.
Mhm.
Now, it brings me to my next question is, what problem do you hope to solve?
Um, and when when I think about this question, I was thinking about it from the perspective both of the conference, but also of the work that I do. And I think that as far as the conference is concerned, I would say that we as a group of psychologists, you said it yourself. We're not always so good at thinking of ourselves and self-care and the importance of that. And I have seen in my time professionally that there've been when people don't take care of themselves, it impacts their work and they're
Mhm.
not as effective. Sometimes they end up in ethically shady situations or committing ethics violations, and that involves then a board complaint, and so
Mhm.
all that goes along with that, as well as when people aren't caring for themselves, the health problems and that can crop up. And I don't know that this is how true this is, but I've been curious myself about what's the incidence of more serious illnesses in the population of psychologists because of actually working many times with people who are in stressful situations. What does that do to us physiologically? So I'm very passionate about that. And that's one thing is to help people beef up their self-care. I think the reason I'm specifically interested in working with executives and around helping them be more balanced is because I grew up with a dad who was an executive who unfortunately didn't take good care of
Mhm.
himself and had a lot of stressors and had a major heart attack at 49
Mhm.
and nearly died and was never able to work again and died very young at 63. So
Mhm.
I've seen that, and I think there's the importance of hoping to help others not go down that same pathway.
Wow, incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm,
Thank you. And it sounds like you are living a living testimony in creating your um, the generational awareness of healing and hope and vitality among your communities. So thank you
yeah,
so much. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. I connect with that deeply. So
Oh, you do.
my yes, I do.
Uh,
I do. Yeah. So important. Absolutely. What Now tell me, what would you tell somebody who is coming to the SCP conference for the first time to help them get the most out of their experience?
um, well, I would say don't hesitate to talk to people. Feel free certainly to talk to me, but don't hesitate to talk to other people because as we talked about before, it's a very friendly environment. It's a very supportive environment. So don't be shy. I think sometimes, especially when we go to a conference, if we're alone, we don't know anybody, it's hard to go up and initiate conversations and so but don't hesitate to do that because As I said, it's a very friendly, welcoming group. So that's one thing. And related to that is the importance of networking. If you're doing this work in coaching and consulting, we are your people. So, come talk to others and network, because you never know when there could be an opportunity for a consultation or support, or perhaps collaboration. So network and don't be shy. And I guess the last thing I would offer is pace yourself.
Okay.
And I don't know if other people experience this, but when I have gone to conferences, when I would go to APA for the first several years, I'd be like, I'm going to get to the conference at 8 a.m. and I'm going to be going to all these sessions and getting all my CE. And the same thing happened the first time I went to an SCP conference. There's so many good things to choose from, but I guess I would say be sure to pace yourself and certainly attend, prioritize what sessions you want to go to, but make sure that you also have time to do some more informal networking or seeing the area that we're going to be in. So seek balance. That would be my message.
Seek balance. For all you all that are watching this podcast, you heard it straight from John.
Right.
The value of networking, putting yourself out there, seeking balance along the way, pacing yourself, all very, very important recommendations. Thank you so much, John. And so once again, I just want to plug in your session, Beyond Self-Care Vitality for the Psychologist. Anything else that you're doing in the conference again?
Aside from that, I will just be networking and seeing friends old and new. And so anybody who's watching this podcast, feel free to come up and say hello, because I'm reasonably friendly.
All right. You heard it straight from John. Well, thank you so much, John. Thank you for all of those tips that you brought into this podcast for newcomers or folks that's already coming, and we are looking forward to seeing you in person and looking forward to your session as well. Thank you so much again for your time today. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, weekend, and see you soon.
Okay. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.